Well, hello and welcome to another episode of The Elegant Life. Today's topic is going to be about something that was spurred on by a conversation I had with a gorgeous woman yesterday. And it had to do with this all-pervasive thing called finding your purpose. I'm not living my purpose. What is my purpose? And I have, as with most everything, a very different take on this whole purpose thing. For a long time, I was searching for my purpose, and a lot of people are. And the thing that really struck me, what this woman said was, you can really feel guilty that you haven't found your purpose yet, or you can feel very depressed that you haven't found your purpose yet. And I wanted to change this up a little bit and get us women to start thinking about what I call our calling. Now, we've all experienced moments in our lifetime when we have felt lit up in our true strength and power, most divinely aligned and just in the flow. We know we've had an impact on someone somehow, and that has been a moment that we felt so confident and so in connection with ourself, and we have felt self-love. Now, I'm going to put this in a two-part series because I always think an example gives you a way for you to see your life and how it has transpired and how you can pinpoint moments of figuring out what your unique signature calling in this lifetime is. Now, what's the purpose of finding your calling? Well, the purpose is we come here as a number one soul coming into human life form to be able to expand consciousness, love, light. But the way in which we do that is a direct correlation to how our soul has been programmed. I've been programmed with just natural abilities to speak and to teach. Everything about my personality and my natural talents has been given to me so that in this lifetime I can use my calling to expand the consciousness. Okay, so what is yours? What is your calling? When I'm in this mode, when I do these videos, when I go on stage and I speak, when I lead small groups of people in either a workshop or a retreat, I am in my zone. I don't have to think. I'm just in the flow and in my power and in divineness. It's just amazing feeling. So that feeling of fulfillment creates a glow and a resonance within me. And when I have that glow and that resonance within me, it just goes out everywhere. And that is how my calling allows me to do my purpose, which is to expand love and light consciousness. Love and light is just another word for consciousness or God or source or the all or the universal energy, universal intelligence. We can call it anything we want. It's the same thing. And the purpose is the same. But our calling is what helps us fulfill that purpose. Do you see the difference? Now, I'm going to share my own story in this part one and follow it carefully because you're going to be able to see clues in your own life to help you create your own personal sentence of what is your unique signature calling. All right? This is going to help you feel fulfilled in life. This is going to help you feel like there's a meaning to life, a happiness. Just stay tuned. Part two of the series is really going to be taking you through the whole step of creating your signature one. And also we'll dive a little bit deeper into the reason and the reason of finding your calling and how to use that in your everyday life, how to allow it to almost have a web life effect in your life and to make sure to check to see if everything in your life matches your calling. Because what I have found is that when women are trying to manifest things, when they are trying to feel happy, fulfilled, call in that loved one, everything can work better when we have our calling and we live from our calling. We can be a spiritual woman and we can read the books and we can go to the retreats and we can feel the sessions and feel the things during meditations, but we won't have that massive shift, or we'll have more ups and downs of feeling in alignment. Oh, I feel bad. Oh, I feel aligned. Oh, I feel bad. Whereas we want in the Elegant Life to have that fairly consistent flow. Yes, there are going to be things, but we want that consistent flow. So if this sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. All right, here is the story of how my purpose and calling became revealed to me throughout my lifetime. So, as a child, I adored seeing people teach. I watched my mother, I watched my aunt, and I had experiences when I was a child of helping people and them feeling so good and happy with themselves. And I was lit up when I had that feeling. I used to help people when I was a kid in school, and I used to see how excited they got when I used to help them with like a math problem. And that created a spark and a joy in me that nothing else gave me. And so as my life progressed, I was raised a Catholic. And there were so many questions I had that couldn't be answered. And I didn't feel connected unless I started watching the life of Jesus, because it was like he lived the principles that took all the rules away, but he lived kindness, he lived compassion, and I loved that experience. So I watched that, and then I had an experience once where my puppy went missing. He got lost in a place where we were on holiday. We were at a friend's house and he got lost and we couldn't find him. We were up on this hill and there was forest everywhere. We searched days to find my beloved puppy and I was devastated, to say the least. Being so devastated, the people we were staying with said, gosh, if only we knew a psychic and a psychic could tell us where he was. And my mother had remembered that there was someone. Well, we called this psychic and she told the lady, there is a field and it's a field that they used to grow hemp on it. And she said, yeah, I know that field. She said, well, he's in there in a clearing, almost as if a foal, a young deer had been, and this is where he is. He's safe. He's a bit scared, but he's safe. Go there. We drove to that clearing. Now this was a far away drive, but we drove to that clearing and we all said we're gonna, stand at different points in this field and then just walk straight. I started to walk straight and I heard this. And I thought, it can't be. And I started to run. And I swear to you, it was like a dream. I turned to the left and in a flat clearing, as if the land had been just flattened down in this little pack, as if an animal had used that as its sleeping pad, was my puppy. He looked up and we ran to each other, and that moment was the moment that I went outside of religion and I connected to something within myself that I felt was beyond religion. And I started to get interested in this whole, how can she tell the future? What does she tap into to know this stuff? And so my experience was broadened through a very painful experience, okay? Throughout my life, I have had experience of discomfort where I've had to grow, and then I've had this beautiful movement towards my calling. It has always been something, something, something. When I was going through a difficult time in high school, I started to search more and get into meditation. And when I finished this meditation course, there was a lady there that said to me, you are going to do something very special in your lifetime. And I sat there feeling, I am? I knew I wanted to be a school teacher at that time, but I thought, I am? And she made it sound so important. And I didn't know what it was, but that stuck in my head. Then it moved and moved. And let me tell you what happened after that. I had experiences that I will put a link down below this video to some of the most difficult times in my entire life. I went through sexual abuse. I went through a marriage where I experienced emotional abuse and physical abuse at the end, ended up divorcing, ended up with a restraining order, flew off to France, had a total spiritual awakening there. So many things happened after that time that allowed my soul the opportunity to grow. Okay, you seeing a pattern here? Now, I didn't have the tools to go through these periods with ease and flow. I had to go through it the hard way. So keep on moving I did. When I was in France, I became interested in Buddhism because I was trying to be happy. I didn't know how to finally find happiness. And I was introduced to Buddhism, and what I found intriguing about Buddhism was that, again, there were not so many rules, but it was about inhabiting characteristics, embodying characteristics of compassion, of healing, of abundance, of kindness, of light and space and clearness, of nothingness. And these experiences that I went through there allowed me to get to a point where I felt like I was energy. Not so much this human. I could feel the energy of what compassion felt like. I could feel the energy of what abundance felt like. And so that is what Buddhism taught me. Now, I moved on, and then I met my husband, who came from an Islamic religion. Now, he didn't practice it, but I started to investigate more because of, he just went through things in his life. And so I learned things from kind of Sufism and different things that they did. And I loved one thing from that religion was that there was multiple times during the day where they checked back and prayed to come back into alignment, because we know that life can throw us off. So I was introduced to this concept of not just once meditating, but throughout the day, coming back into the alignment of what we really are. So over time, I had these experiences. The last experience I'm going to share with you that had this epiphany experience of my entire life was that of multiple miscarriages. Now, first of all, I struggled to get pregnant in the first place with my son, and then I had these multiple miscarriages that sent me into quite depression. Then I finally got pregnant with my daughter, but for some reason, after being euphoric of being pregnant again, but feeling so cautious and untrusting of the universe, I felt such a disconnection and almost a deadness inside, and I went into severe depression. Even after I had her, I went into such a depression because I was feeling lost within the business that I was doing. I was feeling lost in my marriage because I felt there was a disconnect. I was feeling lost in my connection with the universe because I tried so hard to have a beautiful birth using hypnotherapy, and it was probably the most traumatic medieval styled birth that I could have ever imagined. And so that was completely opposite from what I spent 3 months visualizing it be. And I was just like, you know what, universe? Screw you. I have had so much trauma and so much stuff in my life. You are not there for me. You do not support me. And all these people that are trying to tell me that the universe is there to support you or that God loves you, you know what? Screw you. And I went deep down and to the point where I literally, and I've not admitted this except, in private to clients, but I called the hotline twice. When you get to that point of hopelessness, something is about to change. And I'm going to share next week of what I won't be next week. This will be the next video. I'm not going to let you have to wait a week. I'm going to share this with you tomorrow. I'm going to share with you what happened to me to change absolutely everything, and where the elegant processes come with that I teach now, and where I finally connected all the dots of what my true calling here is on earth, and how I go through now these growth opportunities with more ease and elegance. And I'm also going to share the formula for you to find your own calling so that you don't have to go through that deep stress and struggle that I did. So I'll see you tomorrow for that. Stay tuned. Come back. Mark your calendars. Mwah! Love you so much. Bye-bye.